On a warm and glorious Saturday afternoon, 100% chance of baseball. The Reds and Cardinals clash, the middle matchup of their three-game series. A pleasant good afternoon. Welcome on back to Reds Baseball alongside Chris Welsh. I'm John Sadak. And Chris, the Reds have a not-so-secret weapon on tap for today, the second big league start for the southpaw, Andrew Abbott.
Well, we can only hope that he can be half as good as he was the first time, because he was basically unhittable. He went 6 innings, then finally gave up a base hit. Abbott is the kind of pitcher that is very simple. He hides the ball, but he's got good command of his pitches. His curveball is an excellent pitch. His changeup is coming on as well. But I think the biggest intangible that he has and takes to the mound is that he's fearless. I mean, he is a bulldog, just in the same way that Hunter Green and Graham Ashcraft. He falls right in line with that, and this guy just never gives up.
Now, he is facing a lineup that has potent power. It was a familiar formula for the Cardinals last night.
Well, you're right. I mean, they go long ball. There's no question about it. I mean, they're third most in the National League in home runs. They're pushing 90 in that category. 50% of the runs come of the home by way of the home runs. So we've seen teams like this before. Actually, when you look at the Cardinals and inside the numbers, this is a ball club that should be playing much better baseball, wins and losses, than they really are. They've scored more runs than they have given up, and that by itself should say they should be at least at 500 instead of 10 games below 500.
And in terms of the Reds offense, they'll contend with Miles Michaelis, an all-star a year ago. He has been on track of late.
Well, last 3 games especially, he's been outstanding, earned an average under 1, so he's really getting it together. He's a high fastball pitcher with a big breaking pitch, and he's got excellent control. If you expect to get on base this afternoon, you're going to have to do it with your bat, because he simply does not walk anybody.
He went 7 scoreless against the Reds when he saw them earlier this year, but the Reds have had his number over the longer span in the last several years. It's time for a break. When we're back, the best scouting report known to man. We revisit the words of Pops Andrew Abbott's dad, who forecasted his turnaround in his stellar debut.
Selling Brandon, Cincinnati. And by Skyline Chili, feeling good. It's Skyline time. We are all excited to see the second career start in the bigs for lefty Andrew Abbott. First time out was brilliant. 6 innings, 1 hit, scoreless baseball. But he did have to grind to get through those 6 innings, particularly the first 2 innings. First 2 innings, 53 pitches, 31 strikes, and 22 balls. There were a ton of foul balls along the way as well. Did strike out 3, walked 3, no runs, no hits. Now, I was able to interview his parents after those first 2 innings, and Dad, who's seen him pitch more than anyone else, was very honest in his assessment.
I think he's handling it pretty well. He's nibbling a little bit too much. I think he needs to concentrate on pitching to contact instead of trying to nibble at the corners. Just settle down. He'll do it. You'll see a different inning. You'll see a different inning next inning.
Boy, did we ever see a different pitcher. It's our Coors Light beating the pressure. Innings 3 through 6, 52 pitches, 1 less than the first 2 innings. 33 strikes, just 19 balls. Struck out 3, 1 walk, 0 runs, and 1 hit. After the game, he was asked about Pop's assessment. Dad knows best.
I sounds like him.
He wasn't wrong.
No, he was not. I personally don't like the 4 walks. I know it's a tough stat. The game overall was good, but the 4 walks are like my personal, just like I got to be better than that for the team. He knows me pretty well. Coached me from when I was young all the way up to about high school, so that's a reliable source.
And perhaps we'll call on that analysis going forward as well, as he makes the second start in a Reds uniform. Speaking of making a start and being back, T.J. Friedel is off the injured list. He likes to create chaos. We'll talk about T.J. when we come back.
Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Reds.
Looking at storylines for today, let's check out today's transactions. Jake Fraley unfortunately placed on the 10-day injured list, right wrist contusion, but it's kind of a swap of lefties. T.J. Friedel activated off the IL for the bullpen. Reds recalled Kevin Pergett and optioned Joel Kuhnel, who pitched here last night, optioned him back to Triple-A. As far as TJ Friedel goes, he's a chaos guy. He likes to disrupt the opponent, and he has had a lot of success in this Reds lineup. When you put him at the top of the lineup, really spreads things out. Now, unfortunately, he's had to deal with injuries and a couple of stints on the IL, but 5 games between IL stints, 471 average in those 5 games, and he is an energy guy all the way. Always busting it on the base pass, putting pressure on the defense. He will certainly help this Reds lineup, and he has been wanting to come back in the worst way.
You get that itch. You get that itch, and it's like, man, I wish playing. Like, I want to get out there. So, you know, to finally the 10 days are up, and I'm ready to go.
Looking at this lineup and where you kind of fit in, and it's kind of spread out more, is that exciting to think about what you guys might be able to do the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we got unbelievable talent all the way through the lineup, and no matter where you go through in the lineup, everyone's going to do their part. Everyone's going to play their role, and it's just going to be a fun rest of the season with all these guys.
And the Reds will look for him to be a spark plug. He's at the top of the lineup. Speaking of which, we've got the lineups. We've got all the play-by-play action coming up next. It's game 2 of a 3-game set from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. John and Chris are next.
Back at Busch Stadium, the Reds and Cardinals clash. Cincinnati tries to level the series. Fell last night 7-4 in the opener. As the Cardinals take the field, TJ Friedel prepares to lead off. Just the 5th time that'll lead off for the Reds. His first game since May 30th when he injured his hamstring in Boston. The full 9 brought to you by Rally House, Matt McClain, Jonathan India. Ellie De La Cruz has hit in all 4 of his big league games so far. He's in the cleanup spot. Spencer Steer, Tyler Stevenson, Will Benson, Stuart Fairchild, a big night, couple of hits, doubled, drove in 2, and walked yesterday. And Luke Maile, who caught Andrew Abbott in his major league debut, will reprise that role today. The man the Reds oppose, the 2-time All-Star, Miles Mikolas.
Well, the control specialist for sure. Miles Mikolas uses that breaking ball and his fastball interchangeably, and he mixes them up really from the very first pitch of the at-bat. You know, he may throw a fastball to the first hitter, may throw a breaking ball to the second hitter. What he does, however, is give up a number of base hits to left-handers, and it's too bad that Fraley is not healthy because they could really use a little more balance in the lineup than they have right now, the Reds anyway. But Mikolas started off a little bit bad. He's really good recently. Look at the last 3 starts he's had. He's only given up, well, that's the first 3 starts. Last 3 starts, he's an .091 earned run average. Last 10 starts overall, he's really getting it together. So Mikolas is back to being all-star quality pitcher.
Now, if you're going to get Mikolas, Chris, you probably want to get him early. He's allowed 32 runs on the year. 10 have come in the first inning. His first inning ERA is near 7, and the league has hit .383 against him in opening innings. He settles dramatically thereafter.
Yeah, I think a part of that is making sure that you don't chase pitches out of the zone against him early on, because his control gets better as the game goes on. First inning is a lot of times when you want to get that guy. If you get him in the first inning, you can also beat up on the bullpen a little bit.
First pitch, a fastball strike as we are underway. Well, Friedel in the month of May hit .375. Pops it up. Tough sun. Arenado. Defense for St. Louis. At outfield, we saw last night Walker, Edman, and Carlson. 9th straight start in center for Tommy Edman. Arenado, DeYoung, Donovan, and Goldschmidt, along with Kisner behind the plate. Donovan, a Gold Glover as the utility last year. He can be moved all around. Matt McClain. And McClain got aboard twice more last night. He doubled, he walked. He's hit in all 5 games against St. Louis. Breaking ball misses up. And Chris, he made 2 stellar plays playing second base for the first time in the big leagues.
Well, he's a terrific athlete when he's at shortstop, but second base might be his best position.
Bashes that ball to left center. Edman with speed, extends and makes the sliding grab. Oh, what a play. He robbed McLean and gave up the body.
Very similar to the gapper that McLean hit last night. It looks like it's going to be a fly ball. Look at the routes that they take and then realize it's going deeper than they thought, almost all the way to the wall. That would have hopped right out of here had he not been able to put a glove on it.
And St. Louis skipper Oliver Marmol cited the inconsistency in their outfield play. He called Edman a stabilizing force, and that's why he's keeping him in center even with Dylan Carlson back from the IL. Up and away to India, who has had success against Michaelis. He's hit .313 head-to-head against Michaelis with a couple of homers. Hard ground ball, Arenado. An efficient first frame. The Reds turn to Andrew Abbott in the home half. Second start for Andrew Abbott.
Well, Abbott was brilliant his first time out. I mean, 6 innings of 1 hit, no run baseball. He did walk 4, but when you don't give up any other hits, those guys aren't going to come around to score. Had 6 strikeouts. Abbott is a guy who is not overpowering with his stuff, but he hides the ball very well. He gives you a little bit of a crossfire motion, steps towards the first base on deck circle a little bit, and then crossfires it to home.
Attacks Tommy Edman with strike 1.
And what that particular delivery does, it enables you to pitch with a stiff front side and really get great break on your breaking ball.
You mentioned that his curveball in his debut, over 2,800 RPMs. It's top 10 spin right in front of Atlanta's Max Fried, and you think that's part of it?
I'm sure it's part of it. It's very difficult to throw a curveball when your hips are wide open, but when they're closed, pitching coaches will tell you, you have to have a firm front side, land and then pull down. And Abbott's delivery allows him to do that. He's not really all that much across his body, just a little bit. The other thing that it makes it tough for him is to get that ball into right-handed hitters. So he's got to concentrate very hard at getting it in there, and that's why he's way over on the third base side of the rubber.
0-2, up and away. Yeah, Charlie Goldsmith had a sensational piece in the Cincinnati Enquirer profiling Abbott before he made his big league debut. Swing and miss, gets the strikeout. He cited his Double-A pitching coach, Brian Garman, who played collegiately at the University of Cincinnati. And he said, quote, Andrew Abbott is the epitome of what all the old school guys want, but in a new school fashion. He throws fastballs, strikes, he works ahead, but he uses the tech. He understands sequences. He balances both worlds.
Well, he was also coached a little bit by a pretty good pitcher along the way, Billy Wagner, who was a terrific reliever for the Houston Astros for a long time, and from Virginia, and had a chance to get some words in a device of Abbott when he was growing up.
Well, he surged ahead of Edman 0-2, struck him out. Now he's ahead 0-2 on Paul Goldschmidt. Now his signature pitch for his strikeouts is that four-seam fastball that Danny Graves called the invisible during his collegiate days in Virginia. And it's something that Garman referenced at Double-A. He said his fastball doesn't fall at the same rate. It holds its plane longer. He can throw it above the barrel. Lifted to left, coming on hard, sliding grab. Trapped by Stuart Fairchild. Goldschmidt gets that ball down, and he is on.
A humpback line drive that started out high in the zone, and Goldschmidt put a little overspin on it. That's a good call by the umpire, because from where I'm sitting up here in the third deck, it looked like that Fairchild snagged that ball. But it bounced right in front of him, went into the glove, and Goldschmidt has a base hit. The old humpback line drive.
So Goldschmidt on. Nolan Arenado stands in. Arenado thundered one of the 3 2-run homers launched by the Cardinals last night. That came on a 3-0 count, too. Only Eric Hosmer among active players had more career plate appearances, 3-0 without a homer. He's in the 180-plus range.
Well, it also came on a fastball, obviously on a 3-0 count. Most of the time you're getting that fastball. That's where Arenado's strength is. His weakness is breaking pitches. 70% of his strikeouts come on breaking pitches. But you've got to get him to 2 strikes.
3-0. Well, he unleashed a swing 3-0 yesterday. Takes. That's a tight strike. Delayed, called a strike. Arenado had tossed the bat. He does not agree with Junior Valentine.
Well, he thought it was a ball, and I think you're right about the delayed call right there. Arenado's thinking that, hey, I don't want to show the umpire up. That's the last thing that Arenado really has in his bio. So he'll have a little conversation, get back in there and face a full count.
Abbott throws over.
There are some umpires back in the day, John, that if you ever did that as a batter, you better be swinging at the next pitch no matter where it is, because you have a high likelihood of being rung up.
All right, they ignite Goldschmidt. They do not. 3-2 fouled back. Abbott threw over 5 times in his major league debut.
The one batter?
No, he's not approaching your number. Fouled back. You know, Josh Hall points out in the truck that with the rules of today and the disengagement, your record is probably now going to stand forever, right?
It appears that way. Of course, on a day where another record will never be broken, that this commemorates the day when Joe Nuxhall made his major league debut on June the 10th.
Payoff again. Popped up. That twist to the seats.
Of course, Nuxie's record will never be broken either, because you cannot sign a player at age 15 anymore.
This will be the 9th pitch of the plate appearance. Bounces home. Arenado walks. Full 9 for the Cardinals, who have won back-to-back games for the first time since May 20th, 21st. Brought to you by Rally House. Luke Baker, the rookie, Dylan Carlson, Paul DeYoung. He has slaughtered the Reds in terms of power like no other foe. Jordan Walker, Brendan Donovan, Andrew Kisner. Baker makes his home debut today. He made his major league debut Sunday in Pittsburgh, had a couple of hits. He was leading minor league baseball at the time of his call-up, Chris, with 18 home runs.
Well, he should. I mean, he's 6'4", 280 pounds is what they've got him listed as. I mean, he's a big boy.
Lifted to right. Benson in. 2 down. Now that helps after a long battle against Arenado to efficiently retire Baker. Now Dylan Carlson, who batted 9th, reached twice on a walk, was 0 for 2 in his first action since mid-May, just activated off the IL yesterday. Top tier of the zone, fastball strike.
Carlson, one of those switch hitters that hits much better from the right side than he does the left side, at least over the course of his career.
Up and away. Check swing as that tumbled down and in. Appeal, no go.
You know, one of the biggest differences, two of the biggest differences really, when you get to the major leagues, coming out of the minors as a pitcher, is you have a smaller strike zone overall. Umpires just call a tighter strike zone up here, period. And then number two, the hitters don't chase outside the zone as much. They've got much better selective process. So it forces you to throw more strikes.
Miss away. And I thought one of the elements of Abbott's outstanding debut is how Luke Maile handled things. He went out for a couple of visits that were well timed. His leadership has stood out on this team.
He's behind there today.
Full count. Temperatures expected to reach near 90 during the course of the game today. Runners off, and he walks him. Bases loaded. Here goes Luke Maile out to chat.
And I think he's probably going to be joined by Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, to make sure that he gets a full breather out there.
You're right on it. Here comes DJ.
And I think that, you know, DJ got a little bit of a late start out there. By the time he takes that stroll out there, it's going to be about down to the clock limit. But it's more of a matter to get yourself back on the rails mentally rather than anything physically going on with your pitcher. Now, if you're Paul DeYoung, he's the hitter coming up right now. You just seen two batters walk, so then now you've got bases loaded. He just missed on that ball 4. DeYoung is going to be ready to swing at that first pitch. That's the other factor that you have to consider when you're Andrew Abbott out there now. I've got to throw a strike, but it's got to be a good strike. I just can't pour it right down the middle.
So Abbott, 26 pitches, 14 strikes, a couple of walks, along with the Goldschmidt hit. DeYoung is more homers and RBIs at the expense of Reds pitching than any other opponent. 18 homers, 47 ribbies head to head. Right at him, fastball strike. Oh, and 2. He's zipped ahead on fastballs. Fouls it off. Way up.
We have a decision pitch right here. 2-2 count with 2 outs.
Elevated significantly. It's another full count. went full on Arenado, he walked him. He went full on Carlson, he walked him. Nowhere to put DeYoung. To right field, Benson spun around some, but he has it read and he makes the grab. An exhale. They leave him loaded. Elly De La Cruz hits in each of his first 4 big league games. 44 leads it off. To the plate, game 5 of his big league career. He has handled fastballs, not the same success so far on off speed.
Well, you know, in the major leagues, they're going to find out what your weakness is, and they're going to pound it until you figure out how to make a change.
Strike 1 from Michaelis. De La Cruz, a base hit on an infield chop yesterday. Showed off his stellar speed once again. He topped out at nearly 32 feet per second. It was the 4th fastest time of anyone in the big leagues this year. Down on 3.
Michaelis is an expert at carving up hitters like Elly De La Cruz by changing speeds and location. First pitch, a slow curveball. Next pitch, a little sinker down and away at 92, and then runs it up the ladder at 94. That's an excellent sequence.
Fires in strike 1 to Spencer Steer, who singled, walked, and scored yesterday.
You know, when Michaelis was originally signed by the Cardinals, he was coming back from overseas pitching in the Japanese league, and he came over here with that high fastball look, and that was really before the trend of all high fastballs were really popular. And he was able to exploit that. He throws his breaking pitch from exactly the same spot, high in the zone, and then it drops straight down. And that enabled him really to go out there and lead the league in wins his first year. He won 18 games. Did not have the same success the next year. He led the league in losses with 14.
Bounce to third, Arenado. 2 down.
But if you can flip that slow curveball up there and get a strike out of it, the hitters will remember that in the back of their mind. And they're always probably going to be wondering, all right, am I going to see that slow pitch again? Do I have to be prepared for it? It's just a nice go-to pitch. It takes nothing out of your arm, and Michaelis throws it for a strike nearly all the time.
Tyler Stevenson had several productive plate appearances yesterday. Singled, walked, posted a sac fly that nearly left the yard to center field. They worked him in regularly yesterday. Mentioned the command of Michaelis. He entered tied for the fewest walks per 9 in the National League with the Giants' Logan Webb. He's only walked 1 man in his last 30 1/3 innings. That's a tremendous run. Stevenson smashes that to center. He's the first Red to reach a 2-out single.
Try to come back in there again. Michaelis with the high fastball that time, and good quick hands for Stevenson.
While the Reds were retired 1-2-3 in the first, McLean hit the ball really hard. India hit the ball hard. Arenado shallow at third. First pitch strike to Benson, who walked as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning last night, but was caught stealing. Benson opposite way. That gets down to the gap. Back-to-back 2-out hits.
Really good swing by Will Benson there. He kind of waited on it, driving that ball to the other way with the barrel of the bat. He's a big, strong kid with really good hands. And I think he's getting a little bit more confidence every game he gets to play.
Well, 2 on for Stuart Fairchild, who had 2 hits. He doubled, drove in a couple of runs, and walked yesterday. Curveball misses. You know, Fairchild today with TJ Friedel's return, Chris, they have their fastest outfield combination. Fairchild, Benson, and Friedel can cover a ton of ground.
It's a big outfield here.
And you can see Bally Bar bottom of the screen. 11 games now for Fairchild against the Cardinals, hitting over 400. 5 extra base hits, 7 ribbies. Borderline up. We started him with a curveball that missed down. He's gone to the heater since. Misses away. Runners go. Chop to third. Arenado backing up. Backhand sets his feet. Bang, bang, safe. Fairchild legs out the infield hit. The bases are loaded. And again, we see Arenado backing up on balls that I don't remember him doing that with in the past.
Well, not only backing up, but almost double clutching out there. I don't think he had a problem getting handle on the ball. I just feel that he thought that he had more time than he really did. Just a little bit extra, a little pop in the glove right there, and Fairchild booking it down the line.
Home to first and 4.28. That's top 5% of baseball. The throw was at 85, and he still beat it. First pitch, Maley fouls back strike 1. And if nothing else, at least the Reds are now making Michaelis work. An 8-pitch first inning. He got the first 2 of this inning very efficiently. Appeal. He went. Maley has plenty of power in his bat.
Total setup pitch right there for Michaelis. 0-2, even with bases loaded. I mean, he's going to set up a pitch, waste that one to try to probably go away somewhere to make his pitch to Maley.
Catcher in, and that's hammered to left field. That's a base hit. Stevenson scores. He beckons Benson. He sprints to the plate. Furious windmill for Fairchild. He roars home, and Maley cleans the bases. He scalds a 3-run double, and the Reds take a 3-0 lead.
How about Luke Maley, ready for that high heater, coming in there one more time, does Miles Michaelis, and Maley lashes it down the left field line. I mean, that ball may have even been out of the strike zone. I would have bet the farm that he was going down and away, but he decided to come up and in, and Maley makes him pay.
Well, despite sporadic playing time, Maley has been an offensive threat. Top of the order, Friedel tried to check, could not hold back, strike 1. The feel of this large crowd has changed. You can hear the murmurs as 4 straight Reds have reached with 2 outs. And Chris, this has been part of the Reds' recipe for most of the year.
Yeah, 2 outs, 2 strikes, down by 2.
Breaking ball, bounce to first. Goldschmidt. The Reds rally. They load him up. Luke Maile sends him home. 3-zip.
Goes back to work for the Reds. Now, when he first met the media in Cincinnati, it was a very informal discussion, and they were talking about the number that he's wearing, number 41. And it was mentioned that Tom Seaver wore that number. And they said, well, he's mostly known as a Met. That'll be all right. They mentioned, well, Lou Piniella wore that number. Oh, Lou was a manager here, not a player. And then they said Joe Nuxall wore that number, and the whole room went, ooh, that's a lot of pressure right there. So lefty to lefty, I think he understands the significance of wearing Nuxie's number 41, and proud to wear it.
I'm part of a proud pitching lineage. Old left-hander, newest left-hander. Misses to Jordan Walker, who had a career-high 3 hits, including a 2-run homer yesterday. Now Walker in 7 games since his recall, hitting .292 in that time, 2 of his homers. Cracks that ball to center, well read by Friedel. And now a unique challenge. The left-handed bat of Brendan Donovan got his 3rd bunt hit of the year, part of a 3-hit day yesterday. Chris, over the last couple of years, he has the highest on-base percentage of any lefty against lefties in baseball.
He makes it very simple, Donovan does. Never really tries to overpower the baseball. Takes a lot of pitches. He was the leadoff hitter yesterday. He's all the way down to number 8 today.
Right to McLean. 2 down.
Abbott needs a nice quick inning. He threw a lot of pitches in the first inning. They worked him a little bit. He walked a few batters, but he's on the verge now of getting out of there 1, 2, 3 very quickly.
Andrew Kisner, his first game since Sunday in Pittsburgh. He has homered in back-to-back games played. He's done that actually twice this year. He's one of 4 catchers in the big leagues to accomplish it even once. Strike 1. Right back at him. Oh, 2. Got him looking. A 9-pitch perfect inning. 3, and if previous ball games can tell the tale, perhaps it's good for the Reds. Stats with Lowe's, the Cardinals, 4 wins against 23 losses when they allow the first runs. Only the Royals have a worse such winning percentage in baseball. And of course, Kansas City, the club the Reds will see next. Start that series at Kauffman Stadium on a Monday. Matt McLean is lined to center. He was robbed by Tommy Edman his first time. already there is such a level of comfort and almost expectation. McLean is hitting a casual 347. He has been incredibly consistent and explosive.
He just doesn't look overwhelmed, and that's the one thing you really don't want to see out of a young player coming up out of the minors, that, you know, you break him to the point where his confidence begins to get a little shaky. That has not happened at all.
We just saw a breaking ball strike. Lays off that fastball. Our Kia player profile, McLean hitting .429 against breaking balls. That's 4th best in baseball since he debuted. Gets a piece of that curveball. Two. Well hit to left. Walker, awkward route, skips past him on the dive, gets all the way to the fence. McLean's got a window for 3. He shoots through second, race for third, and he takes it standing. Jordan Walker did not get a clean read, and McLean kills another ball that goes all the way to the wall.
Walker got kind of caught in between, either trying to make the glove catch right at the grass, or maybe backing up and taking it on one hop. McLean, how about him taking his hands inside to get the barrel of the bat on that inside pitch? And Walker, who is really an infielder, a third baseman by trade, he's been forced into the outfield because Arenado owns third base. And his defense just not there yet.
And scored a triple. That's already 3 triples for McLean. And he hasn't been in the big leagues for a month. That draws the infield partially in. India has bounced out to third. Michaelis misses. Chris, the Reds have a famously long drought of cycles. That gets India. He's aboard. I feel like now it's just a matter of when and who. Between McLean, De La Cruz, and Friedel, I think each of them might cycle before the year is over.
I hope so. That would be quite a statistical anomaly.
Although in favor of perhaps even more extra base hits than just the cycle.
I would rather see a couple of home runs with bases loaded.
Ellie De La Cruz, ground ball, gets through, base hit. McLean scores. India rips through second. He claims third. Ellie De La Cruz hunts the first pitch. It pads the Reds' lead. It's 4-0.
Yeah, I don't think that De La Cruz, after seeing the pitches he saw in the first at bat, he saw 3 of them, all 3 different kinds from Michaelis. He wasn't going to wait around for something slow or something fast. He just got the first piece of rawhide that he sees rolling up there, and he's going to get a base hit out of it.
Well, he now has hits in each of his first 5 big league games, and Andrew Kisner strolls out with Spencer Steer due up. Remember that Michaelis had been cruising. It was bases clear, 2 outs. He saw 4 straight Reds reach. Arguably the most critical was Fairchild beating out the infield hit that set the stage for Maile. Now it's 3 straight Reds to reach base at the start of the 3rd.
Yeah, still really one of the most unlikely rallies you'll ever see. I mean, Michaelis was really cruising along before the Reds put a 3 spot on him, and he was not happy at all. He got to the dugout coming off the field.
Steer first pitch. Edmond coming on. Makes the catch. India tag. Fire to the plate. Cut off by Goldschmidt. Sac fly RBI. 5-0 Reds.
To complete that thought, and Michaelis may be even more steamed right now.
Very nice, man.
And I mean, he got to the steps of the dugout after that inning in the second when the Reds scored 3. He just fired his glove into the dugout, took his hat off, fired that in there. Not a happy camper right now, especially after that ball misplayed in left field has now led to a couple of runs.
Each of the last Reds productive on the first pitch.
I mean, really, if you want to break it down, defense by the Cardinals is the reason the Reds are winning 5-0 right now. Arenado took his time on a ground ball, was beaten by Fairchild, and that opening triple here was really kind of set the stage for this inning.
Stevenson was the first Red to reach. He singled with 2 outs in the 3-run second. And De La Cruz's stellar speed. He already has a big league steal. If and when Michaelis uses that slow curveball, that can open the door all the more. Kisner away. Chopped back to the pitcher. Late decision to fire to second, gets it there in time. For Force and De La Cruz, Stevenson reaches on fielder's choice.
It's almost like Michaelis forgot how many outs there were and what the situation was. I mean, this is a potential double play ball if he turns and fires right away. Second baseman there waiting for him. Brendan Donovan saying, hey, you got to get the ball to me? He was lucky to get an out there.
Will Benson has singled and scored. Takes strike 1. Well, as well as Michaelis has pitched, certainly by runs allowed over the last month and a half, he did surrender 10 hits last time out at Pittsburgh and somehow only gave up 2 runs in 5 innings.
And I think only threw something like 78 pitches. So he does make you put it in play, but when I see a pitcher make a play like he just did, not really aware of what to do with the ball when it comes back to you, he's not all there right now. He's a little bit teed off.
Walker gives ground. Edman way over in the gap. Makes the catch. Blood boiling for Michaelis. Reds on top by 5. Saturday, June 24th. Fans in attendance receive a Hunter Green replica jersey, courtesy of Kroger, while supplies last. And Green will get the ball tomorrow. And been pushed back into the rotation. That's once again at 5. Reds hoping that is a rubber match. They have a 5-run advantage for Andrew Abbott. Second time through, the leadoff man Tommy Edman struck out swinging his first time. And Jim Day, the Reds are playing along with the Cardinals on a nearly new surface here at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, last week they replaced the surface here and they planted some new Bermuda grass. They switched from Kentucky bluegrass. They have so many concerts and events here. The grounds crew just said they needed something tougher. The Reds players were marveling at this surface. Did a really nice job with it. Lucas Sims said it's like they took the San Diego turf and moved it to St. Louis. He was out there doing snow angels, and I said, well, you like it enough that you're out there doing snow angels? And he got in my face and said, I was doing agility drills, Jim Day. Don't demean my business. But he was doing snow angels. They really love the new surface.
It looks fantastic.
I walked on it today, and I thought it was the first AstroTurf. I asked Jeff Pickler, is this real grass? Because this is like the fairway at Augusta. Although I don't think they have Bermuda there, but you get the idea.
They probably frown upon grass angels there, too.
Your team spots you a couple of runs, and they've given him a 5-run lead, Andrew Abbott. He comes right up here and makes quick work of the first batter he faces.
He has struck out 3. It's back-to-back backward Ks. You got Kisner looking to close the second. Goldschmidt singled on the 2-strike pitch in the opening inning. Big rip. Now we saw Abbott try to work just off the plate by probably a baseball and a half, 2 baseballs. He's been tighter to the zone since and gets a wave and a miss from Goldschmidt. 3 straight strikeouts.
You don't normally see Paul Goldschmidt wave at a breaking pitch from a left-hander like this. I mean, he just completely is fooled by the spin and the break of that pitch. That is a hammer.
Nolan Arenado walked his first time. Dotted, strike one. Skips on Mealy.
Yeah, that first pitch that he threw there against Arenado was a changeup. Comes in about 87 miles an hour. Not the huge separation between that and his fastball, but just enough to get it off the center of the bat.
And if he can pinpoint that spot, that's a pretty good place to go.
He labored through a 33-pitch first inning. He sliced through the bottom third in the second. Well struck to left. 2-out hit for Arenado.
It's an example of what we were talking about last night with Arenado, who is one of those hitters that gets your whole upper body down low on a low pitch. And you see he kind of bends right there. That pitch was meant to be up at the top of the zone. Abbott got it down a little bit, and Arenado was right there with the bat head.
Baker is flying to right. Ties him up with a fastball in. De La Cruz, that's a foul ball. Bailey Smothers. Two. Right to McLean. Force at second, end of inning. Proudly sponsor the Tundra Homer Challenge at every Reds home game. If a Red hits the Toyota hit and win sign, one lucky fan wins a new built in the USA Toyota Tundra. Register for your chance to win at your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Stuart Fairchild beat out an infield hit, a critical part of the Reds' 2-out rally. He loaded the bases in the second. It's this ball to left center. Edman fading back, reaches up on the run, makes the catch.
Tommy Edman is a very good athlete. You can pretty much put him in any position on the field, but he's still learning center field, and the route that he takes in some of these balls is maybe not perfect, but his athleticism and speed allows him to get there.
Luke Maile was down 0-2. And Michaelis doubled up coming in on Maile, and he ripped a 3-run double. Ahead 2-0 second time around.
They're not coming into Maile at all this time, at least not for a strike, after giving up that double that cleared the bases. kind of going down and away to the safe spot.
Maile again to left field. Skips and rolls all the way to the corner. Back-to-back doubles for Luke Maile.
Well, right now he's owned the fastball and he's owned the breaking ball. That time Michaelis just kind of left that pitch up and out over the plate with 2 strikes, 3-2 count here. You see where Kisner is, and that pitch nowhere near where he wanted it, and Maile's there to hit it.
You know, ever since he kind of changed his hitting philosophy, Luke Maile that is,
Which is just getting up there and seeing the ball and hitting the ball, forgetting all about the mechanics, all about the drills that you do. He says it's really simplified his approach, and it's paying off.
TJ Friedel 0 for 2, popped to third, bounced to first. Well, so far, Chris, every Red has either reached base and or driven in a run, with the exception of Friedel, who's on the year one of their most consistent men in both areas.
Well, anytime your number 9 guy in the order has 2 doubles and it's only the 4th inning, it's a pretty good sign.
And this is already the second most runs Michaelis has allowed in an outing this year, topped only by the 6 he surrendered in Colorado back in earlier April. And Colorado has been a particular kryptonite. His career worst day came there last year when he gave up 10. Strikes out Friedel. Well, 2 strikeouts for Michaelis. McLean a couple of well-struck baseballs. Arguably hit his line out to center better than he did the triple that was awkwardly misplayed by Jordan Walker. Curveball strike. Fisted roller. Donovan on the third base side. Bouncing throw. Lost by Goldschmidt. McLean never gave up. He sprints through. Men at the corners as Maile takes third.
Boy, the importance of turning ground balls into outs. I mean, we've seen it today, and with an exclamation point. Arenado just taking his time on a ground ball, not being able to turn that ball into a ground ball out for the 3rd out of the inning. At the very least, it's going to make Michaelis throw more pitches.
Error on the bouncing throw from Donovan. Inside miss to India, who's been hit by pitch. He has scored. He's also grounded out to third. Two and one. They pinch the left side of the infield. Ripped through by India. Well, Michaelis has only struck out 2. The Reds today with 2 strikes are 4 for 10. double, triple, 3 of their ribbies. Way outside. McLean leaned, gets a look, but no throw from Kisner. With a full count, McLean no longer held on. He goes. Breaking ball. Lifted to right. Carlson has it red. Reds strand a couple. Daytime, the FanDuel same game parlay. They chatted about it. Reds Live. Andrew Abbott needs one more strikeout. TJ Friedl, get him on, get him in. Ellie De La Cruz needs one more base. Andrew Abbott twirling a 2-hitter. Reds have staked him to a 5-run advantage. Dylan Carlson worked a full count and a walk his first time against Abbott.
The Red scouting department have to be just so proud of the haul that they got from that 2021 draft. The first round draft pick was Matt McLean. And remember that they did not pick until 17th in that round. But the oddity of the 2021 draft for the Reds was the fact that the Reds had actually 3 first-round draft picks. 1 first-round pick in McLean, then 2 other compensation picks. The 1 compensation pick comes because the Reds are a small market club. The second came because Trevor Bauer was signed a few years earlier. He became a free agent and signed a contract back with the Dodgers, and the Reds were awarded another round trip or another compensation pick in that first round. Andrew Abbott was picked in the second round, first pick, when the Reds came through. So in a way, they were able to, because they signed Bauer, they were able to get more money for their overall draft and be able to end up with Andrew Abbott. We also got a couple of other those compensation picks that are still in the minor leagues.
Comebacker by Carlson. Leadoff man is on for the Cardinals. First time today they've turned that trick.
Solidly hit. Mentioned earlier that Carlson's a little better from the right side than he is from the left side. Abbott was a little bit of an unusual case, but maybe not so much because of the COVID situation. Remember that he pitched 4 years at University of Virginia. And normally when you're a 4-year player in college, you have virtually no bargaining power whatsoever. Because where are you going to go? If you don't sign a pro contract, what are you going to do? So I think what happened was that because of COVID, he became a 4th-year junior. So he did have negotiating power, and he could always have gone back.
That is crushed. And handled by Fairchild.
So when the Reds scouted Abbott, they had to make him a pretty good offer, because if they weren't going to make him a good offer, he could always have gone back to the University of Virginia for 1 more year. And the Reds did. They upped the offer. They got their man. And they've got 2 of those 2021 draft picks right here in the major leagues on the field today.
Well, I think part of what helps, right, strike 1 to Walker, who was lined to center. Abbott has talked about how he felt he was looked over in the truncated 2020 draft that was shortened because of COVID. Now, while Abbott's numbers were excellent, he was largely a reliever those first 3 years at Virginia. It wasn't until that 4th year that he became a weekend starter, and that's when everybody took notice.
Absolutely, because when he became a weekend starter, he was 9-6 that year. He had a very good earned run average, but he also averaged almost 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. So it doesn't matter what league you're in, if you do that, you're doing something right.
And during that time, they're in the ACC, and our longtime friend Danny Graves, the baby-faced assassin, is one of the lead analysts for the ACC baseball coverage on television. 0-2. Fouled back. And Jim Day, Danny Graves was one of the first guys to really notice and advocate for Abbott nationally.
Yeah, I was texting with him during his first start, and he has been on Andrew Abbott since his college days. And you mentioned it. He called it his elevated invisiball. Danny said it's ridiculous how many swings and misses he gets without throwing gas. It's a unicorn pitch. I've never seen anything like it. And to think he had this command when he was just a kid doing it in college. He has been very impressed since the college days in Virginia, and certainly what he's done in his very brief stint here in the majors.
I mean, to throw 93 and get the strikeout numbers that he has. Sharply sent to McLean. Flip to India. Double play. For the Reds and Braves, Friday, June 23rd. Stay for a fun post-game concert featuring Quinn 92, part of the Ohio Lottery post-game concert series presented by Duncan. Camera left, blue shirt, glasses on. Jack Leiter, outstanding member of our Reds TV crew, cameraman and funny man. He also has some of the best hat game on our crew. He's a big Pitching Ninja fan. He has a few different Pitching Ninja hats. I love Pitching Ninja.
I did not know that. I know you were Pitching Ninja. I didn't know that he was.
Yeah, I think he has a, I know he has a white one, and there was another, I'm not sure if it was gray or, but he rotated through them.
That's a nice camo Reds cap that he's wearing today.
Yeah, he's always styling. Ellie De La Cruz, an RBI hit today. Yeah, De La Cruz has struck out a decent amount, but he's hitting over 350. He's on base 420, and when he makes contact, it's loud. And here he takes his walk. You know, Joe Luckup pointed out on Twitter that as De La Cruz got to each successive level, he had initial struggles. When he got to high A, he was 6 for 25, struck out 12 times. When he got to double A, he was 11 for 49, struck out 16 times. When he started triple A, he was 2 for 22, struck out 11 times. And then he adjusted. And it feels very similar. I was fortunate timing-wise to be triple A with the Yankees when Aaron Judge arrived. He had the exact same thing. For Judge, it was about 200 plate appearances at each level. And then he adjusted to the league and became the best player at that level. Best player at that level. And it's translated for him. He's one of the best in the big leagues. De La Cruz off pitch, up, throw down, no shot. Second big league swipe for Ellie De La Cruz.
Well, he had a huge lead down there. I was wondering if Michaelis was going to throw over to first base. He did not. And Kisner got that pitch high, but he never really stood up to make the throw.
Up and in, and now Michael is known for his command, Chris. He had not walked a man in what? Just over 33 innings, walks De La Cruz, and now it's 3-0 on Steer. And there's another walk.
Yeah, he just does not look like the same guy when, I think, after that 3-run inning by the Reds, and then on top of that, they scored 2 more in the third. I think some of the breakdown in defense has gotten him maybe a little bit out of whack.
Brief message now from Miami Valley Gaming.
You can pack light on your next trip to Miami Valley Gaming, as long as you've got your lucky Buckeye.
Well, pitching coach Dusty Blake out to chat. 2 on, nobody out. Tyler Stevenson 2 up. First time Michaelis has had multiple walks in a game in a month. He was in Boston in mid-May. They've come in succession. Stevenson has singled and scored. Takes strike one.
And Michael is trying to tease the bottom of the zone here, maybe to get a ground ball double play. Stevenson has grounded into 6 of those this year.
Bounce to second. Flip one. There's number 7, De La Cruz to third.
I just didn't see Michaelis in that at bat, going to his high fastball because he needed a ground ball. He's not really much of a ground ball pitcher. In fact, his ground balls have gone down over the last couple of years, especially this year. That's one way to erase a walk.
Strike one to Will Benson. Center field, Edman. Headlong dive makes the catch. Send your Cincinnati Reds to Seattle this summer. 2023 Scott's MLB All-Star Ballot. Vote daily. Reds.com/vote. Send your favorite players to the Emerald City. Strike one on Brendan Donovan, who has bounced out to short. Popped up. McLean gives ground to De La Cruz.
I got it, you take it. I got it.
And McLean looked down. It looked like he was trying to find the edge of the outfield grass. Did he lose it in the sun when he came looking back up?
I think he actually went off and thought that McLean was going to take it and looked at McLean and then realized McLean wasn't going to be able to get it. And he was able to pick it up again.
First pitch line to De La Cruz. That had some funk to it too, not a routine play.
It was self-protection.
Tommy Edman has struck out twice.
Boy, Abbott has really settled down since that first inning when he threw a lot of pitches, had the bases loaded. Paul DeYoung went all the way to the warning track with a fly ball to make the last out of the inning. And ever since that time, he's just really buckled down and found a nice little rhythm. I mean, that hitting that outside corner for him is just so important. His fastball doesn't have a lot of tail away from right-handers, but he's got very good command on that outside part of the plate.
Two-one. He's allowed 3 hits, all singles. Goldschmidt in the opening inning. A 2-out poke by Arenado in the third. A leadoff single by Carlson in the fourth, nullified by a double play. Well hit to left. Fairchild after it. And an excellent job by Stuart Fairchild. Holds Edman to a hard single.
Well, that'll keep the string intact for Andrew Abbott, who has not allowed a runner to get to second base since that first inning. I could have sworn this was going to be a double right here. Fairchild And you mentioned earlier, John, how the Reds with this configuration, Fairchild in left, T.J. Friedel, then Benson in right, the fastest outfield the Reds have.
Goldschmidt has singled, struck out. It's unfortunate, as you said right from the start, that Friedel's return comes along with Jake Fraley hitting the IL. And I think this is true of every team, but the Reds, with the infusion of their rookies, have still not had a whole lineup. They haven't been able to put out their truly best unit on a daily basis. Someone's been hurt.
I'm not sure anybody knows what that best unit really is.
That's a great point.
And it may vary as to who the opposing pitcher might be.
And an issue for Maile. So with pitch count.
And that might continue because you've got other rookies who are playing extremely well down the minor leagues. You're going to have injuries throughout the season.
And let alone the idea, it looks like a glove problem for Maile. That at some point you would think Christian Encarnacion Strand is going to be a Red. Joey Votto had a 400-plus foot home run last night. He's going to be back. And just think of what the bench will look like for David Bell when they're whole. Then you can mix and match more in game too. Understandably careful with Goldschmidt. Arenado, though, looms on deck. A walk. Here comes Derek Johnson. Arenado is arguably the hottest Cardinals hitter. On base in 12 straight. He's been aboard multiple times in each game this series. He has walked and singled today head-to-head against Abbott. He exacted 9 pitches out of Abbott in that laborious opening inning. Hammers the first pitch foul. The Reds silence St. Louis with crooked numbers in the second and third. This is the most buzz the building has had since the opening inning. Fouled back, 0-2. What do you throw him here?
I'm going to make him reach for it. I think that Andrew Abbott can expand the zone a little bit. He had a good swing at that last pitch, and Abbott's changeup has been good down and away. I'm going to the safe spot.
Goes in.
That's a really good pitch, and you can get a lot of strikeouts on that. But the idea is to put that ball on the back foot of a right-handed hitter. And sometimes if you take it too literally and you hit the batter, you know, we see Nick Lodolo hit a lot of batters on an 0-2 count with really good pitches that just is bad luck. You don't want to allow that to happen. I think they'll probably go down and away this time.
So he's gone curveball, fastball, sweeper, fastball.
Well, if you look at Arenado individually here, 70% of his strikeouts come on breaking pitches. That is number one in all the major leagues. That's just since the start of last season.
Right-hander is now up at the Reds' pen. Buck Farmer is the man getting loose. In the air, center field. Another scoreless inning for Andrew Abbott. In the second, saw this critical reach by Stuart Fairchild.
All about hustle. I mean, that's the only thing that you can really control on a baseball field is your effort level. And it opened the door for a 3-run inning, and that was really set the stage for this ball game.
Fairchild leads it off this inning. Breaking ball misses from Michaelis. Fairchild was the third of 4 Reds to reach in succession with 2 outs.
I mean, with all the prospects, I mean, uber talented prospects coming through the Reds organization right now, do you want to be the one guy who doesn't hustle?
High in the air, center field.
I think he's lost it. Oh, no.
Brief word now from Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hey, Cincinnati fans. Summer's more fun at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Gear up for camping, cookouts, and backyard adventures for less at Academy.
Luke Bailey has doubled twice. Pulled each one to left field. Yeah, to your point, Chris, that's where the speed of this Reds team. Breaking ball bounced to short from the outfield grass to Young. It has to affect opponents because we see not only that raw speed, but moreover, to your point, that constant hustle that forces focus from defenders.
I mean, and I said it early on, John, the enthusiasm of this ball club is contagious. And everybody who's come up into that dugout feels like they've caught that same little enthusiastic fever to play at a higher level than maybe your ability says you should be playing at. If they can just translate those games, those tight ball games, into some more W's.
TJ Friedel 0 for 3 so far. And something the Reds have injected into their daily routine is a base running meeting. Every day, every game, they have a meeting talking about that day's starting pitcher, tendencies, and how they can take advantage. Popped up. Arenado fighting that sun. He's got it. Reds in order for the first time since the first inning.
Today up in Akron, they captured their 9th state championship with a 4-1 victory over Olentangy Orange. Olentangy, a Columbus suburb. Sophomore Zion Theophilus, a complete game 1-run performance. Toby Huber, C.J. Richard leading the offensive charge. Congratulations to head coach Tim Held and all the Moeller Crusaders, the men of Moeller, and of course their proud alumni, including our own Barry Larkin.
Congratulations indeed. The young man who caught the home run, Ellie De La Cruz's first blast, football player at Moeller. Does that burn you as a St. X guy?
Not really. I mean, I'm very happy for Moeller. I mean, 9 state championships, it's incredible. It goes to show you also how good the feeder system is in Cincinnati, how good the amateur baseball being played there in Reds country is. And, you know, you develop fans, you develop players, you develop ways to win. And I think team sports are a great way to learn that.
1-2. Baker to center. 1 out. What have we seen from Andrew Abbott?
Well, he's been on spot. We're a little worried there in the first inning when he got the bases loaded, walked a couple of batters, but he's really come back very strong, and he's keeping things nice and simple. Spotting the fastball is the #1 thing a major league pitcher can do to make sure that he sets up his breaking stuff, and Abbott has done that extremely well, owns the outside part of the plate today, and has yet to give up a run.
Abbott has now gone, 11 1/3 scoreless to begin his big league career. 10 strikeouts in that time. Early on, the league is hitting just under 140 against him. Now, it looks like Michaelis is done. Drew Verhagen now warms in the Cardinal pen. The Reds had Buck Farmer loosening last inning, but the bullpen silent for the Redlegs for now. Swing and miss.
Great arm action on the changeup. I mean, you know, ideally you have a little bit more separation, but his arm speed on that changeup is so convincing to the hitter that it's a fastball. He gets a lot of swings and misses on that pitch.
Carlson to center field. He's aboard 3 times today.
Yeah, the first time with a walk, the last couple of times with base hits, but both base hits kind of up the middle. You know, going the other way a little bit into right center field on the last one, and the first base hit right through the box. Carlson not trying to do too much.
With Abbott ready for his 100th pitch, Reds bullpen in action again. Looks like Farmer once more. DeYoung is fly to right, fly to center. "33 pitches in the first, very efficient since." Way out in front.
I'm not sure what he did there, but he took a lot off that pitch. It was the slowest changeup I've seen him throw at 80 miles an hour.
Lifted down the left field line, an early turn, allowed foul. There were some loud misses foul in his debut. We've seen a few today, notably on the curveballs. The curveball DeYoung sailed. Arenado had a ball nearly 105 off his bat. He was early on a curveball. Powerful right-handed bat of Jordan Walker on deck. In the air to right, Benson breaks. Secures the second out. And here comes David Bell. With Abbott at 105 pitches and a powerful big right-handed bat due up, he makes the move. So Abbott is done. His book's still open. Man on, 2 down. He leaves a 5-0 game. The skyline chilly. Call to the bullpen. Buck Farmer. Drew Andrew Abbott leaves in line for the win. So far, 5 2/3 scoreless, 5 hits, all singles. He is responsible for Dylan Carlson at first base.
Well, what a great, outstanding effort by Abbott again today. I mean, no runs scored, that's the bottom line, and both starts he's had, he's held them scoreless.
Buck Farmer now on in relief.
This is Buck's 313th game in the major leagues. He started 21. He's been pretty much a reliever since 2019. Only in relief in his last couple of seasons here with the Reds.
Gets strike one on Jordan Walker.
Now you call a pitch a few inches off the plate like that. Now you can see if you can expand the zone and make Walker reach even a little bit more.
Checked his swing. Well hit to left. Fairchild on the run. Hops, extends, and makes the catch. Walker lines out. Shutout preserved. Baseball on Valley Sports Ohio is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by DHL Supply Chain. Now hiring a wide range of salaried, managerial, and operational roles. Apply today. Join DHL.com. It's a spectacular Saturday in St. Louis. The Reds have chased Miles Michaelis. Here's the most often used reliever by Oliver Marmol this season, Drew Verhagen.
Yeah, we just saw Buck Farmer, who was a longtime teammate of Drew Verhagen. Both of them wore a Detroit Tiger uniform together for several years. Verhagen now 32 years old in his 8th major league season.
Matt McClain has tripled, reached on error, and scored. He's also lined out to center. Verhagen missed most of last year. He had a right hip injury that zapped him of about a month from mid-April to mid-May. And then an impingement in his right shoulder cost him basically the All-Star break to the end of the season. But he's been far more durable this season. This marks his team-high 28th outing of the year. Breaking ball, strike 3.
We're certainly seeing more curveballs than we are sliders in this ball game. That's a big overhand yacker there.
Paid attendance announced at 45,246. The Cardinals' 7th sellout of the year. Now the Cardinals entered the series with the 2nd worst home mark in the National League. Only the Washington Nationals had been worse. Well, they have been better at home of late. That is smacked by India. Fair ball. Kicks off the wall. Extra bases for India. Standing double.
Boy, he takes a rip, doesn't he? I mean, he does not get cheated. Rip. Gets an inside fastball at 94. That is good hitting.
India in scoring position. Ellie De La Cruz aboard twice today, an RBI single, a walk, a steal. He is also struck out. So the final line on Michaelis, 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs. That matches his second highest amount of runs surrendered this year. He walked 2, struck out 2. Also hit a batter. While Andrew Abbott officially 5 2/3 scoreless, so he has got 11 2/3 scoreless innings to begin his major league journey. One and 2. One, 2 again. Sharply bounced back to the pitcher. Flick to second. And that's a tag play. India able to retreat safely. De La Cruz reaches.
Well, the Cardinals just look confused. They just really don't. They're not thinking out there. This is the ball back to you. You can look the runner back. If you think he's going to third base, then you run right at him and get him in a pickle. Chances are if that happens, then you get it out and De La Cruz ends up at second base. But right here, he flips the ball so late that I guess the Young couldn't get the tag on him.
Well, the Reds say thank you very much. Couple of men on with 1 out. Spencer Steer, a couple of productive plate appearances. Sac fly, a walk. He's also grounded out. Borderline miss, ball 1. And scored a fielder's choice, by the way. That's pretty well hit to right center. Edman, bad angle. One hop to the wall. Green light for India. Stops on De La Cruz. He goes through it. He tests him to the plate. Head first plunge. He's safe. He evades the tag from Kisner, and the Reds tack on 2 more. They have a touchdown lead in the visiting 7.
Boy, nothing going to stop De La Cruz coming around third base right there. And he really poured on the gas when he got it going about a halfway to home plate. I mean, he really poured it on. Look at him coming around past India. India hits a bag, and De La Cruz not far behind him. And yes, he got the plate.
Make them make a play.
Whew. My.
Down it into Stevenson. Miss inside. Now Steer slashes his 17th double of the year. High 4-pitch walk. Let's revisit the sequence on the round of third and pay attention to third base coach J.R. House as De La Cruz comes to third base.
I think J.R. House is still getting used to the speed of De La Cruz too. Here he is trying to hold De La Cruz up. You see with his arms up, he's saying stay right there, stay right there. And I think by the time De La Cruz even picked him up, he had already figured out he was going to the plate. Just for your information, a coach cannot physically help a runner one way or another, either get it back to the bag or propel him forward. That would be coach's interference, and the batter or the runner would be ruled out.
And Jim Day, Ellie De La Cruz is a rather special talent in terms of foot speed for J.R. House.
Yeah, just what Chris said. It's going to take some getting used to, although David Bell jokingly told him, go ahead and put that stop sign away when talking about De La Cruz. And JR told me that he's seen what he's done in the minor leagues. He's so instinctual that we don't want to handcuff him. What he has is extraordinary, and the last thing we want to do is cut that off or regulate it. We're going to sit back and marvel like everyone else. But still, that is a normal stop sign that you saw him put up, but we're not dealing with a normal human being at number 44.
Well, after the pitching coach visit, Benson is singled and scored. He takes ball one.
You know, it's probably worth commenting that one of the things we've talked about, how the Reds run hard all the time, that really helps a third base coach, because he realizes now that from time to time they're all going to run consistently. We're not going to have one guy who lollygags it a little bit and then turns it on. And that kind of hangs the third base coach out to dry when that happens. He's still thinking about De La Cruz, I think.
Bounced fair to first. Runners advance. Goldschmidt 3 unassisted. De La Cruz, according to StatCast, has topped out again at nearly 32 feet per second at his top end sprint speed. That is top 4 in baseball this year. To score from first base on a play like that. Fairchild is singled, scored. He's lined to center, fly to center. So now every Red except for Friedel has at least one hit. Steers' double was his first knock. The man on deck, Luke Maile, as of now, is the only Red with multiple base hits. In the air to right, Carlson tracks it down. Reds tack on 2 more, including an impressive sprint from Ellie De La Cruz. The Reds bullpen in the driver's seat, presented by Hyundai. In the last 8 games, 30 2/3 innings, a 1.47 ERA, the league hitting .240 against the Reds pen. That has 1 out so far from Buck Farmer. He stranded a hand-to-be-down man from Abbott and hands the baton to the recently recalled Kevin Herget, just back from AAA.
I'll tell you, nowadays, if you are a pitcher that is kind of floating between AAA and the major leagues, chances are you're going to be up and down and up and down and up and down. There's really more player movement, it seems like, than ever before. And Herget, when he's been up here, has done a nice job.
Faces Brendan Donovan, bounced to short, popped to third. It's Herget's first outing in a week when he faced the Brewers at GABP. He had been set to start. He was going to get stretched out at AAA and got scratched a couple of days ago. Now there is good news. The early return on Casey Legamina from yesterday was strong. He opened, went the first inning. Apparently felt great today. Salazar pitched very well outside of one horrendous day at Fenway. His other 3 outings sensational as a sinker slider guy. So now the options at AAA are deepening. So as other needs come up, there's more versatile and proven players that can help the Reds. That one skips dirt and catches Donovan.
Yes, it is a hit by pitch if it hits the ground first. But a batter can also hit that pitch if he decides to swing.
Kisner has struck out looking. He is lined to third. Left center. One out. We pause now for word from the good folks at Bad Boy Motors.
The fields, front lawns, and backyards of America. Bad Boy.
Top of the order, Tommy Edman singled his last time. He has struck out twice. Just low, 2-0. Bounce to India. Second one. That's all they'll get. Not the best toss to McLean. Muted his ability to try to turn two. Edman also flies. Paul Goldschmidt aboard twice. Singled his first time. Walked his last time. Strikeout in between.
The strikeout by Goldschmidt that he had the third inning against Andrew Abbott. If I'm Andrew Abbott, I take the little video of that strikeout and I put it in a loop and I watch it every day. Because you've got the reigning MVP who he struck out on a curveball and made him just look like he had never seen a curveball before. That's the kind of thing that kind of should really give a young pitcher like Abbott a lot of confidence.
Line to right center. One hop base of the wall. Wave is on at third. Ball bobbled by India. Edman scores standing. RBI double for Goldschmidt. Shutout spoiled.
Goldschmidt does this a lot. Takes a pitch and just stays behind it and drives it the other way. Plenty of power for Goldschmidt.
That's his team leading 19th double. He got his 400th double last weekend against the Pirates. Strike one at Arenado, who has walked, singled, fly to center. That's the first extra base hit for the Cardinals today. Bouncer, India. Cardinals get a run. Reds still a gaudy lead.
Cincinnati Zoo Night, Tuesday, June 20th. Get an exclusive Fritz the Hippo bobblehead presented by Skyline. Please note, this bobblehead is only available through the purchase of a theme ticket package while supplies last. Check it out at reds.com/zoo.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Luke Maley has had a great day. A couple of doubles. The first drove in 3.
And he's done a nice job for the second time in a row catching Andrew Abbott.
How do you feel about pairing pitchers with specific catchers?
It's fine until you get to the point where the catcher can't go because of an injury or something like that. And then it may be a crucial game down the stretch. You are pairing up a couple of guys who have never been with each other before. So that's the problem with pairing them up and getting too comfortable like that.
Appeal, he did not go. So as Abbott continues to star after an outstanding second showing in the big leagues. Jim, after game 1, he got a pretty big barrage of contacts from folks.
He's from Halifax, Virginia, population about 1,100. It's a small town. He says that his dad is so well known there that somehow much of the population has his number. He said he had over 1,000 texts. He's just getting through them all. But he said it's one of those towns where everyone knows everyone and somehow got his number. And they are mighty proud of young Andrew Abbott.
Now, that could be a lot of scrolling to get back to everybody. TJ Friedel, the only Red that doesn't have a hit in the lineup today. He's 0 for 4. Takes strike 1. I have to admit, I'm often in the same bucket with many others. I know Tommy Thrall expressed this earlier today on the bus ride over. Do you ever get a text from somebody, particularly for us, during a game? Can't really reply or process text during a game. Then you forget to reply. And then you realize when you go to write that person a week, 2 weeks later, never replied. I wish there were a way to mark a red text as unread again. And I think Abbott is going to have a few of those over the next few weeks.
Well, you know what I call those, John?
What's that?
Senior moments. I've been calling them that for 20 years, too, so that's a good part. People are used to it by now.
Do I get a cheaper meal? 2-2. He might have to go full Pete Davidson and just change his phone number every few months. Grounded to second, backhand. Donovan, nice play. Our FanDuel Live total runs update. Pre-game, the over-under for runs was at 9. It's now modestly higher, 9.5. And Matt McClain, a triple run scored. He's also reached on error, line to center. He struck out looking his last time as the first man Verhagen opposed. Two and one. Well, this game certainly not done yet, but a fairly comfortable lead for the Reds. And what a response. They had rallies that short-circuited. Fell to a solid St. Louis showing last night. But a convincing Reds game to this point.
Yeah, the Reds have outplayed the Cardinals in every aspect of the game today. Had the Cardinals not scored those extra runs mid-game last night, that probably would have fallen to the Reds as well. Looking forward to tomorrow, you got Hunter Green on the hill, throwing the ball extremely well right now. Adam Wainwright will oppose him. He is looking for his first quality start.
And has had Not so much success against the Reds. Chip shot by McLean. Coming on hard. Carlson slides and makes the catch. McLean has been the Red most often robbed in this series. Reds baseball on Bally Sports Ohio is brought to you by Jake Sweeney Chevrolet, serving the tri-state for over 100 years. What a beautiful shot. Beautiful score. Reds up 7-1. Kevin Herget down to the way to Lucan Baker. It's over short. Base hit. We do have a defensive change. TJ Friedel is out of the game. TJ Hopkins has entered. He's now in left field. Stuart Fairchild has taken Friedel's spot in center. Dylan Carlson at the plate as Genesis Cabrera loosens for the Cardinals. High fly, deep right. Gone. His second game back off the IL. He has reached 4 times in 4 plate appearances. And he slices the Reds' advantage down to 4.
Well, Carlson already had a very good day going when he had a couple of hits off of Andrew Abbott, hitting right-handed this time. A sweet left-handed swing in a wheelhouse. And that was a no-doubter.
Dirt to Paul DeYoung. Reds now have Lucas Sims throwing in their bullpen. So we know. Popped him up. India shading his eyes. Everyone converges. Steer takes command from first, zigzags and makes the catch. First out of the inning for Herget. Now opposes Jordan Walker, who has hit the ball hard a few times today, Chris, but is 0 for 3.
Well, he has, and you know, I kind of sized him up last night and the way he sets up. I call him an open guy. If you look at his feet down here and where they start, which is wide open, and where they end up, which is still wide open. So if there's any reason why you would throw him anything other than low and away, I'm not sure what that reason would be. Occasionally you want to get him off the plate. He's got big, long arms, and he's very strong, but you know, you just can't make a mistake over the plate. You've got to be able to hit that spot down and away to take the power away from him.
Fouled away. Another well-struck ball, this time to the wall. Standing double for the Cardinal rookie.
Now, you know, as I was saying, that pitch is up a little bit. He's got good plate coverage, waist high, all the way probably a few inches off the plate. And you give him a chance to hit that. It was an off-speed pitch by Herget, and that'll be the last one that he dials up there today.
And David Bell had Lucas Sims warming. He makes the move. A couple of runs in, a man at second. Lucas Sims to enter in the 8th. All-Star ballot is open. You can vote daily. MLB.com/vote. Decide who represents the Reds at the Midsummer Classic. Well, the Reds' advantage cut down to 4, man on, 1 out. Lucas Sims is in.
I think one of the turning points in the Reds bullpen this year is when Sims was activated off the injured list and came back and began to throw the ball to where he is capable of throwing it. 21 games now for Lucas. High spin, good fastball. He gives David Bell another pitcher that you can depend on late in the ball game. You still have a 4-run lead, but you know it's a little bit wobbly right now. He needs to come in and get these 2 outs.
Misses up and away. By the way, the 9th position due up next, and Oliver Marmol is showing Nolan Gorman a hit for Andrew Kisner. Sims misses. Donovan hit by pitch by Herget his last time. He's 0 for 2. Gorman lying in wait. Three and 0.
Yeah, well, the one area where Sims could use a little improvement is in being able to throw the ball over the plate. He's averaging this year 6 walks per 9 innings, which late and out of the bullpen is tough.
He walks him on 4. Lefties have reached base at a 368 clip against Sims entering this game. Enhanced by that free pass, and now Gorman stands in to hit for Kisner. Derek Johnson now.
Yeah, this is a visit really to take care of Sims, because there is nobody warming up in the Reds bullpen right now to fall back on.
And a chance to not just chat about Gorman here, try to settle Sims, but also he has to face Tommy Edman, who would be due up next. Gorman has had a great year. 15 homers, 10 doubles. He's knocked in 46 to lead the team. Only Pete Alonso is more in the National League. The Reds started a lefty, so Gorman comes off the bench. This is what he did yesterday. And one of the 3 2-run homers for the Cardinals. Step off by Sims, throw to second, ball lost by McLean. Gorman pinch hitting this year, 3 hits, 2 for extra bases and 7 at bats. His lifetime 4 for 17 as a pinch hitter. Borderline up. Popped him up. De La Cruz. Well, 2 down. Back to the top of the order, and the switch hitting Edman. Singled in the 5th. He has struck out twice. He reached on fielder's choice and scored in the 7th. 2 in, 2 on, 2 out. Edman batting left side, has outstanding foot speed. 0-2. To right field, right at Benson. Stay with us after the game. Reds Live, the post-game show, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Another great start for Andrew Abbott. The timely offense of these Reds. They're trying to level the series. The recap to come on Reds Live. Check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Tommy Edman has robbed a pair of Reds today.
For an infielder playing center field, he's done a pretty nice job. And he got a tip of the hat from Miles Michaelis, one of the few really good defensive plays that the Cardinals have been able to muster against the Reds, and Edman is behind both of them.
Robbed Matt McLean, robbed Will Benson. Few changes for the Cardinals. It's a new battery. They had hit for Kisner, so Contreras catches, and Genesis Cabrera is on the mound.
26-year-old, 24th game for Cabrera this year. When he first came up, he was 22 years old. They thought he was going to be a longtime starter. Just never been able to command the pitches the way he needs to as a starter. There's the distinctive blue glove. Maybe teal would be a better way to describe that. Which is perfectly legal. I mean, if you look in the rule book, a pitcher can wear just about any color glove as long as it's one color. You can't have different color striping and anything on the glove that would be distracting to the hitter. Players in the field the same way. Pitchers are a little bit more restricted in the colors that they have, but a fielder can wear everything except basically a white glove. The way the rule book presents it is nothing lighter than Pantone 14.
Oh, the Pantone 14.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a walk to India. That's, as you mentioned, his command concerns, part of Cabrera's greatest challenge. That's now 15 walks in 23 innings this year.
The reason a player in the field cannot wear a white glove is solely because umpires would have a very difficult time deciding whether a ball was trapped or caught. So we make it all about the umpires. Probably a good rule.
Ellie De La Cruz takes a soft strike. He's had another impactful day, including a can't stop, won't stop score from first in the 7th inning. High in the air. DeYoung. Now the Reds had Alexis Diaz throwing at the inning start. He is still loosening in the Reds bullpen. Spencer Steer, 2-run doubled his last time. He has walked. He has a sac fly. Diaz hasn't thrown since Wednesday. Hard ground ball, smothered by Donovan. Nice play. India up to second, 2 down. Our StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, examines Elly De La Cruz's romp from first to home.
Well, he was about halfway to second when he started, and the length of his strides, I mean, he just eats up some real estate, runs through the stop sign, grazes the top of the plate as he slides across. Well, that's exciting. It is just, it's just really exciting.
There is a power and grace to how he moves. And that camera angle, I thought, perfectly caught that Superman splash at the plate. Tyler Stevenson watches strike one. Ricky Karcher, rookie who has yet to make his major league debut, just joined the team in recent days, has now joined Diaz throwing in the bullpen. Check swing, a miss. What do you forecast here? How does David Bell go, and does India scoring factor in?
I think he wants to secure this victory. It's a very important day here. I think the Cardinals came in here thinking that they were going to probably rough up a rookie pitcher, and they were going to continue what they started last night. Really not, had it been for a couple of defensive miscues on the Cardinals' part, this would be a lot closer game.
It had been quite shallow in center. Yeah, the Cardinals defensively, one of the lower tier teams in the league. Entered the series 25th in defensive run save. Opposite way, base hit. Wave is on for India. Carlson scoops it right. India jogs home. Tyler Stevenson, second base hit. He drives in the Reds' 8th run of the game.
Wow, this is so classic of Tyler Stevenson taking that pitch to right field. They shaded him a little bit towards second base. You see where the second baseman is. And they gave him that whole right side of the infield to punch one through.
And I wonder if that run might open the door for Karcher.
I kind of hope so. I mean, young man has not pitched in a week. He has, I think he last threw, he told me this morning, on last Sunday. Only been up in the big leagues for a couple of days. He's got a terrific arm. Great stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
0-2 on Benson. And somewhat under the radar, Tyler Stevenson, it's now been a consistent 5-game stretch. We've seen more opposite way contact. The hits are piling up. It looks like he is getting right. And it goes beyond, a couple of homers. You might run into that here and there. It's more sustained good plate appearances that we have seen from Stevenson. Swing and a miss. Benson strikes out, but a leadoff walk burns Cabrera. 8-3. Reds lead 8-3. Half their runs coming on 2-out hits. They are 3 outs away from leveling the series. That would set up a possible rubber match tomorrow. We invite you to join us for Reds Live, the pregame show from Ray St. Clair Roofing at 1:30. Hunter Green, 12 innings, 1 run, 19 Ks in his last 2 starts, Chris. It'll be his first time on the mound since the 1st of June.
I'm really excited about tomorrow's pitching matchup because you've got 2 pitchers that couldn't be more different in the major leagues right now. You've got a once-in-a-lifetime arm and Hunter Green throwing 100 miles an hour or close to it up there. And you've got the ageless wonder in Adam Wainwright throwing. If he breaks 85, it'll be a wonder. And He's only had 6 starts on the year, Wainwright has, so he's still trying to get things together. But it'll be interesting just because there's such different approaches to pitching tomorrow. Make sure you tune in.
Well, despite a 5-run advantage, David Bell goes to his closer, Alexis Diaz, in the ninth. His first action since Wednesday, got the win against the Dodgers. Paul Goldschmidt takes strike 1. Two hits and a walk for Goldschmidt today, an RBI double his last time.
Alexis Diaz gives you so much in addition to a high spin fastball and incredibly high spin breaking ball. I mean, arms and elbows and knees and ankle all flying every different way. All of a sudden 96 comes out of there.
Lowest average against by any reliever since the start of last year. Struck him out.
You know, Diaz has the kind of slider that I think you could tell a hitter that it's coming and he really wouldn't do him a lot of good when he throws it in his spot.
Arenado is singled, walked, he's 1 for 3. Strike 1. Diaz averaging 17 strikeouts per 9, tops among relievers. He is striking out nearly half of the hitters that he has faced. Just missed. I mean, the swings tell the tale, right?
You can really tell more about a pitcher by watching the hitter, especially from the side, about how the timing of the pitch is just not there for him. It's got the kind of pitch that you seem like you're right on it, and then you're not.
That is sailed to deep left. That's the first home run off Alexis Diaz on the season.
Well, if you're going to give up a home run, Alexis do it in a ball game where the home run really doesn't count much. With no one on base, it'll take several more of those to get back in the ball game.
Lucan Baker is singled and scored.
I think that is the 90th team home run for the Cardinals this year. They came in 3rd in the National League coming into this ball game with 88, had a couple today, and they're still down by 4.
One. Well, none of the active Cardinals had homered off Diaz before that blast. The only home run he had allowed to a Cardinal last year was to Juan Yepez, who was sent down when Carlson was recalled right at the series start. Mighty swing comes up empty. He continues to attack. Struck him out. There's a nice rebound.
when a hitter swings underneath a high fastball like that, that's either indicative of he's swinging in the wrong spot or he thinks he's on it and the ball just doesn't sink enough to get down to his bat. And that's the kind of fastball that Diaz has.
I mean, if he had just one of his two pitches, if he had just the fastball or just the slider, he could probably still be very effective. I mean, heck, I think we see that from time to time with him currently. There are days where he doesn't seemingly have the fastball or doesn't have the slider and still can close out games.
Yeah, but what if you only have one of those pitches and you have a day where you don't have that pitch? That's the beauty of having two, but not too many as a back-end reliever. Although there are some that have several. We're going to go into Kansas City and we're going to visit with one of their broadcasters, Jeff Montgomery, who had about 300 saves, I think, or more. And he had about 5 or 6 different pitches that he threw.
There's a 4-pitch walk. So for Diaz, he has alternated strikeout, homer, strikeout, walk. Spencer Steer came in to tell Diaz, I'm not holding him on. 4-run game, don't throw over.
That's 5 times on base now for Dylan Carlson.
Paul DeYoung 0 for 4. Carlson goes defensive indifference. Great looking pitch, called ball 1. Right to McLean. And the Reds double up the Cardinals on this Saturday. They square the series at a game apiece. 8-4 Reds.
Good solid game made by David Bell's team today. Excellent outing again by Andrew Abbott. Good solid offense, but I think the hustle in this ball game, especially by Stuart Fairchild, the hitting by Luke Maile, it really told the tale today. I mean, if you play hard like the Reds have played this day, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
Reds triumph today. Post game still to come. Your final in St. Louis. The Reds 8, the Cardinals 4. BG and Sam are next.